So this is a very short video. I'm going to give some tips on how to read an article. Now, you are first semester in UTM. You'll be having 8 semesters in total here. First year mungkin tak rasa sangat because your assignment and your research will be very simple. But as you move on to second year, third year, final year, then you have to start reading journal articles. So the summary of it is that it's not easy to read articles, especially journal articles, but hashtag you can do it. You can cheat your way to it. In fact, I learned it the hard way throughout my career as an academic staff. I used to start reading like the whole paper. Then I realized there's a way to do it more effectively. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to cheat. So don't quote me on that, yeah. Okay, now step 1, get your article and look at the title. Tajuk artikel tu sepatutnya dia akan jelaskan apa yang akan diulas dalam artikel tersebut. So ada dua contoh kat sini. These are examples for the people who are doing existentialism. Because existentialism, I'm giving you 3 journal articles. So you might have need to spend a bit more time to read through the articles. So ada dua contoh di sini. Contoh pertama, the title is The Influence of Existentialism on Teaching Methods. So kalau tengok kat topik ni, kita boleh nampak yang paling penting existentialism. Ya, faktor kedua yang paling penting, teaching methods. Now, the next example, existentialism and classroom practice. This is a topic for the journal article. So, apakah perkataan yang penting dalam tajuk? Perkataan pertama, existentialism. Perkataan kedua, classroom practice. So, for these articles, they will tell you what are the main impact of existentialism on, number 1, teaching method, number 2, classroom practice. Okay, tip number 2, look at the abstract. So an abstract is a short paragraph that describes what the article is all about and summary of key points for the article. So normally kalau abstract bagi journal article, dia akan pendek macam ni. Wait, let me draw. Okay. Anggaran 100 sampai 150 perkataan, mungkin maksimum 200. It's one paragraph. As you can see here, satu paragraph aja. It will sum up the whole paper into one paragraph. So of course, kalau dia nak buat rumusan dalam satu paragraph macam ni, you have to be selective lah in the kind of point that you want to highlight, which is why for researchers, part abstract ni paling penting. Sebab dia akan jual artikel tersebut to every reader. And this is where we will use abstract to start filtering what are the papers that we find. Adakah paper ni penting? Adakah paper ni menceritakan apa yang kita nak cari? And so on and so forth. Alright, tip number 3. This is where you have to step back. Jangan start baca dulu. Look at the overall sections of the paper. Now, why am I telling you this? Because you have to brace yourself. Kadang-kadang satu artikel tu mungkin dia ada 30 muka surat. That's a lot. Kadang-kadang artikel tu mungkin pendek, say 5 to 7 pages. Now, regardless of the pages, there will be how do I put it? There will be a standard template for every journal article. Dia akan start through introduction, and then there will be a conclusion section. Now, depending on the type of article that you search, the content will change. So, yang ni ialah artikel yang lebih memusatkan kepada penjelasan. So, it's a review article. Review article dia akan ceritakan pasal subjek tersebut lah. In this case, what is the philosophy of existentialism? What are the principles of existentialism? And then impact on existentialism on education. And then there's this section on, okay, applied existentialism. How is existentialism support the development of this field, humanistic psychology? So if you are reading articles that are on research base, kalau artikel tu untuk research, dia akan bagi penjelasan, contohnya latar belakang research, objective research, lepas tu cara research tu dibuat, meaning method, either you how do you find data, it's through survey, it's through modeling, it's through experiment kat lab, and then your findings, and finally your conclusion. So the whole purpose of this tip is for you to have a look at what am I getting myself into when I start reading this paper. Now, tip number 4, decide which are the priority sections. So once you have identified what are the sections in the paper, now you can start looking through which section is important. This is where the cheating happens. So for this paper, for example, I have found out that there are 6 sections, and I've discovered that section 2, section 3, and section 5 might help me with my assignment. That is to explain existentialism to my friends. So kalau dah kena pasti 3 section ni, section yang paling penting, kita kena luangkan lebih banyak masa untuk baca 3 section ni lah. Number 5, start reading the sections and highlight key points. So I screenshot one section from the paper, and I baca section tersebut, and then I found out that, okay, section yang I underline ni merupakan section yang paling penting. So once you have identified that this is important, then you have to start taking notes. So how do you do this? You either use highlighter, you either use underline with ruler, you either use the sticky note. It depends on you. But at the end of the day, the whole purpose is to identify which portion of that particular paragraph or that particular section is important. It takes time, don't worry. Okay, number 6, reverse question time. Now that you have identified what is the most important part, then you have to start devising your soalan. Contohnya, from the section that I underlined here, I found out that this particular section, the best question to describe it is, what is existentialism? Now, this section, there's another portion that is important. When you study philosophy, you have to find the names of those who initiate or who introduce that branch of philosophy. So in this case, ada 3 nama yang penting: Kierkegaard, Nietzsche. These are the 2 important names, and then these are the more recent ones. So the more recent ones, Buber, Jaspers, and Sartre. So based on these names, the best question to describe is, who introduced existentialism? Now, number 7, tidy up your notes. So, lepas habis baca artikel tu, take your time to read it. I would suggest if you have a dictionary, put it at your side. Abang Google ada, so kalau tak faham apa perkataan tersebut, just Google on the meaning. Now, the next step is to tidy your notes. I would give you this tip. Normally, we are looking at 5W1H. I think you have learned this from secondary school. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So this is what I did just now. I read through the article and then I figured out there are 5 important questions from the article. Number 1, who introduced existentialism? Number 2, what is existentialism? Number 3, when was existentialism introduced? Number 4, why is existentialism being introduced? And finally, how do we apply existentialism in education? So kalau dah kena pasti kelima soalan ni, meaning you have to an extent identified what are the key points for that particular article. There's one section missing where kalau tak berkaitan tak apa. But at the very least, when you do your notes, make sure that you are able to address at least some of the WH, that 5W1H portion. And finally, reflect on your notes. So you once you have tidy up your notes, look at your notes. Is it simple? Is it understandable? If I explain it to your friend, would your friend understand it? If someone else comes in and read your notes, would they understand it? So, cuba tengok balik nota-nota yang telah dibuat. Lepas tu, permudahkan nota-nota tersebut in order for your friends to understand what are you trying to do. So that's it. Have fun. I'm looking forward to look at your submission next week. Thank you.